Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, John the House Guy, and today we are going to be talking about things that you should consider when you're choosing your custom home builder.
Here with your lovely co-host.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, John the House Guy, here with my lovely co-host,
Kim the homegirl.
and today's show is going to be about how to choose your custom home builder, things that you should consider when you're getting ready to start that process.
You're listening to the House Guy and Homegirl podcast, a podcast about real estate and real life. As realtors, home builders, and real estate investors, John and Kim keep it real. Former teachers turned real estate professionals, they have a heart for helping others. Join them each week as they discuss all things home. And now, here's your hosts, John and Kim.
All right. So, what's been going on with you this week, Kim?
Now let's start with you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this week it's been pretty busy. You know, we're just trying to keep things going. Got some traction on the commercial buildings that we're selling.
Yes.
Trying to get some offers going there. Working a few deals. Had an investor
some
client get a house under contract, so that was good.
Very good. Yes. So you sold one of those buildings and
Did I steal your point that you were going to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. You looked at me like, what? You said my thing. Yeah, but okay. Yeah, got one of those buildings under contract. Got it sold. It should close here pretty soon, and then still working on the other ones, trying to get it moved and make a living out here in these streets.
In these streets,
That's
I know it.
Yeah, so building the house back there in the back. We're
Yes.
still working on that. They put the windows and doors in yesterday, I think. So we'll
The
be
doors. Did you say the doors?
the front door.
The front door.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, it's in. It's supposed to be in anyway.
I'm gonna have to go back there. Oh gosh, totally forgot about that. Okay.
So, but that gives us a good segue into this week.
What about me? What have I been doing this week?
I asked you, and then you put it back on me.
Well, I would like to talk after you. I said you first.
Oh, okay.
Second. Okay.
What have you been doing this week?
Well, obviously, like, you know, as real estate agents and home builders, you know, it's not like what we used to have. You know, we were all compartmentalized, and then, you know, we taught, and then we were off in the summer. Predominantly, like June was our off month.
Right
just
now.
because you were band directing, and, you know, July is band direct. But anyway, so we're trying to adjust to this schedule with children. So, you know, like, what do we do? And then, like, there's so much, like, I've got to get and take Nora to, you know, like I said, the pool, and then I've got to get her to the park, and, you know, I still have to be the parent because she's not in daycare or childcare or anything like that. I mean, we're trying to just juggle the whole summer schedule, so pretty much
Whereas
that.
it used to be, we all just
Just vegged out and did what we wanted to.
lazed around during that. Yeah, so.
That, and then building the house, and, you know, just all the fun stuff. But anyways, let's dive in on the podcast today.
Is that all you did this week? You good?
I mean, I've done a ton of stuff.
All right. Sorry to have cut you off there.
Thank
All
you.
right. Let's go with the show this week. Things to consider when choosing your home builder. So, first of all, I think the most important thing a person can do when they're getting ready to choose a home builder is talk through with their partner, or if they're building it by themselves, talk through what their expectations are and their needs are for their home. You know, so when you're sitting there and you're going, okay, we're going to build this house. What do you want from the house? What do I want from the house? Let's try to make this process good so that when we go out and talk to a contractor, go out and talk to a builder, and we're interviewing them, we know who fits our needs.
Honestly, though, like, my personal take on that, I honestly think that you guys, like, your wife, your husband, whoever you're building the house with, y'all need to have a bottom number, period. I mean, that's really where you need to start. Like, you need to start with a number. And in that number, you know, you kind of want to get your financing in order. If you're, you know, this is before you talk to a builder and you're thinking about building, you really need to have a solid number, because that's where we see things go bad. I just this week, oh man, it just broke my heart. And I kind of want to go back and, like, see who owns that property, because I would like to finish it. But I just saw a house, and, you know, like, there's weeds grown up, I mean, 5 feet tall, and it's framed up. It's got, you know, particle board on the house. It does have a roof, and that's it. Like there's still paper on the house, and you can tell it's been there for months, you know, because financing didn't go through, financing didn't work. And that's on the front end. You know, we see that. And then we also see, you know, a house that's almost complete, but it's just sitting there. You know, it may, you know, the inside, it may have, you know, the sheetrock may be done, but it's not painted, or it doesn't have flooring, or it doesn't have landscape or something like that. And that, y'all, you have to stay within your budget. I mean, everybody would love to have a dream home. And, you know, new construction can be a dream home, you know, but you got to stay within your budget.
Yeah, that's part of the big discussion with whoever you're building the home with.
I say that is my first and foremost. Like, y'all, like, make a game out of it. Like, you know, like you get a piece of paper and you get a piece of paper and write down, you know, what you're, you know, you've got to decide, like, okay, we can't go over this. And really, a mortgage lender will really decide, you know.
An important thing too, if you're a husband and you're building with your wife, an important thing to do is set that number so that your wife knows what number to exceed in every aspect of the build process. So when you're talking about that budget, that's what I want to do. I'm going to take this video when we build our own home here in about the next year, and I'm going to replay that budget considerations.
No, I'm pretty good about staying within a budget. But now there are some things that, like, I do want to splurge on.
The next step after you get past that process is really going to be taking your list of needs and the things that you've discussed with your partner that you're building with, and you're going to go and talk to other builders, right? And you're going to want to build some rapport with each one of those, and then see who you can work with the best. And they're all going to have,
not necessarily your friends or, you know, people that you know. I mean, somebody that really, like, you gel with, that you want them to build your house.
Well, you want to get
reputable.
You want to get input from other people who have built with this person before you interview them, right? Like, you don't want to just start calling people and saying, hey, I want to meet with you about building a house. And then you go and then you ask your friend after the fact, and they say, oh yeah, well, yeah, he totally, you know, screwed us over and we lost thousands of dollars because he did this or that. He built our house and it was, you know, terrible.
Yeah, you do want to ask around.
Ask around first,
because there are several builders out there that, you know, it's.
Yeah, you want to get a short list together of people that you want to talk to, and then meet with those. And then you want to take your list of expectations that you developed with your partner and go over those with that builder and say, hey, here's what we're thinking. And then from there, they should be able to take some of those ideas and say, okay, well, here's what I think. I'm going to refer you to an architect, and you go meet with them, or we've got this print already that kind of fits your needs. Let's look at this and then see what you would want to change.
Yeah, because we have several builds that we've built previously that have worked, and some people will go and choose that particular blueprint. And then if there's something that you want to tweak or
bump out a wall,
you know, the architect that we work with, we can connect you with him, and he's already got all that saved, and it may just be a simple process. But needless to say, you know, we have several plans that you can choose from, and we have an architect that we recommend. And so other builders will offer the same.
First and foremost, though, what you want to do when you're getting that short list together, you want to check licenses and certificates and all the insurances and all the business.
Huge.
They need to make sure that they are on the up and
when
up.
There are thousands of dollars involved, you need to make sure.
Hundreds of thousands. Right. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about spending a ton of money. So
make sure to check those licenses and
insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. City business license, state license to build, all that stuff. And then you want to get those builders, whoever, let's say you pick 3-4 builders that you're going to talk to and see which way to go forward. You want to review some of their past work. You want to ask them for a portfolio. Hey, where can you send me to some houses that you've built? And then they'll let you drive by those. Maybe they have
even references that you can talk to.
Under construction that you can go inside and see, hey, here's how it's going. Some big subdivisions or big, you know, developments will have model homes that you can go in and see what the features are.
Neat,
yeah. So you want to review that for sure. And then, like we said earlier, we're going to check the references and reviews, make sure, hey, tell me some people that you built their house, and then try to dig a little bit. I always say go one step deeper, right? So when you talk to somebody, okay, before you chose this builder, did you talk to somebody? And then go talk to that person, you know?
Y'all, and we are extremely transparent. I mean, you are welcome to ask any of the people that we have built homes for. There's nothing, we'll put them all out on the table. And
Yeah, typically what we use is our model home is our house that we live in.
Yeah, the house that we live in.
So you may see our dirty laundry. You'll meet our dog, all that. So transparency.
But now some people, I don't think we've ever had anybody that offered their home for a tour. But usually we have new construction going on where you can walk through, and definitely, you can talk. Like I said, there's not anybody that's off limits. Everybody that we've ever built a house for, I think they'll all be glad to talk to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but that is important though. Like, you need to make sure and ask around, and if somebody's name surfaces on WHNT getting results and taking action, you need to cut that tie.
Avoid the taking action, getting results.
Yes. Yeah. So, anyways,
you're going to meet those home builders. You're going to interview them, talk to them, see. Not only can they meet your budget and build the house that you want, but does their personality mesh with you? Because
that's a working relationship that you must have. And if y'all don't gel,
it's a long process, too.
It's a very long process. And again, hundreds of thousands of dollars are exchanged during that process. And then you also need somebody that's going to understand you and that's going to work with you. Some people just, some builders are like, we do X, Y, and Z, and you have a choice in X, Y, and Z, and they don't give you some of the things.
You get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything is not customizable, and that kind of goes in with, like, some of them are codes and covenants and restrictions and neighborhood things and things like that, but some of them are just this is what I do. Model A, Model B, Model C, and so, like, if that's up front that you have mixed feelings about it, I wouldn't go that direction.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like some places are like, Subway, where you can get every little vegetable you want, and you can pick. And some places are like Dreamland, right? We got ribs, we got bread,
we got white bread,
and that's
we
it.
Got ribs.
Like you can have this, or you cannot have this.
Right.
And that's just you need
to
find out from your builder.
Though. Yeah. Because you are working with that person for a long process. I mean, at least a year from start to finish, as far as, like, developing your plan and getting your financing in order to turn in the key to your house. So
I always tell our clients, tongue in cheek, but also realistically to a certain extent, like, by the time this is over with, we're both going to be on each other's nerves, right? Like,
but that's a good thing.
You're going to be tired of me, and I'm going to be tired of you, because you're going to be wanting this, that, and the other, and I'm going to be saying this, that, and the other. It's just a lot of time. Familiarity breeds contempt, right? We don't have contempt for our people, right? But what I'm saying is, start in the beginning and pick somebody you can tolerate and deal with, because it's a long road.
Yes,
there's a lot of decisions to make.
And that person needs to be accessible. That's a good point, because there's a lot of builders that, they may not get back to their clients, in a timely manner. And it's got to be, if you can't put your thumb or your finger on a person or because sometimes they'll put their word, or they'll rely on a contractor, within their company, and that's your go-to person. As long as you have a go-to person, because I have heard horror stories of, we couldn't get in contact with this person or that person, and so you want to be able to have a good working relationship, good open communication between that person, because there are hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line when you build a house.
Time is money.
And I don't say that to scare you. I just say, I say that for you to be aware.
Well, you just think about it like this. Let's say you're halfway through a $500,000 build. You're $250,000 drawn out on your loan, right? Every day of interest is costing you. Every day of interest is costing you. And if you go 3 days and you can't get your builder on the phone to find out what's going on, that's 3 days of interest you paid for nothing.
Right.
Nothing happened. You paid 3 days of interest. Time is money, right? Time is money. Communication is key. You got to be able to get in touch with those people all the time, right?
And you're going to find that out when you check references and things like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of system do they have in place for addressing your needs, and then are they accessible? From there, we just want to talk about understanding the cost. You've talked about the cost with your partner. Now you got to talk about it with your builder, whoever you've selected to kind of go forward into the next interview process with. Can they meet your costs, or is your cost that you've talked about unreasonable, right? Like, you're trying to build this much house for this much money. is there somebody out there that can do that and this person is just not it, or is that just unreasonable to think that? Right?
And in this day and age, really since COVID and the lack of supplies and inventory that are readily available in workers and things like that, like really COVID has really is when this uptrack.
They broke the supply chain.
And so now when you're talking about like cost and can you build what I envision, and because like regardless whatever your budget is, I mean, you can't go over budget unless you have some kind of secret stash somewhere. And sometimes people do have secret stashes, and they've saved up for retirement, and they have that here's this extra $100,000 that I want to go and put to my house. Sometimes that does happen, and money is not an object, when you're dealing with a grand scheme of things. But most of the time, you've got to stay within your budget. But because of
typically
COVID,
you're going to find that in people that are retired, building their dream home. This is it, my final place. These people that are building their first house they ever done, most of them don't have $100,000 laying around, right?
Right.
I mean, that's not.
And there are so many things that play into building a new home. But since COVID, the kind of house, the amount of house that people can afford, the amount of new construction has decreased since COVID because supplies have went up. And but then again, a new home, the cost of, or just a home in general, those costs have went up.
Yeah,
so
interest rates are kind of making
so
it all balance
all
out.
that's kind of balancing. I mean, it kind of was like way, one way or the other. And a new home is going to cost you a little more still, because everything's new. And then again, interest rates, you talk about interest rates, that's really affected home building, because everybody has went up. Plumbers have went up, concrete has went up, all these things. People say lumber's going down. Well, yes, lumber is going down, but Mr. Concrete labor guy is going up, and he goes up every house, and Mr. Plumber is going up per drop every house. And so,
well, the thing about that is those guys got to buy milk and bread and eggs just like we do, and they're more expensive, and so they have to go up. They don't have a choice to keep their same level of lifestyle, just like everybody else. You got to go up. Right.
And so if you're in the market of building a custom home, which I highly recommend it, I love the home building process. I love building. I love it. I love the whole process of it. And anybody that can build, like, y'all, that's just, you've got into, that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. But you have to be realistic. And in that, you have to start with your budget, where you want to be. And then with that budget, then you go and you get a house plan, a blueprint. And then within that, you have to stay within your budget and limits. So you can't go out and buy, well, you could, but, a gold toilet, or something like that.
Be huge.
Right. Yeah. Or, whatever. So, I mean, you have to stay within your budget. And that's where we come in to kind of help. I mean, we will budget out every item. We'll give you a budget based on where you are, and then go from there. So it may be that, in the beginning, and that happens to some people. Some people know that they can't spend $5,000 to $7,000 on countertops, and so they go the limited route, and that's okay. And those houses come out just as fine and dandy, and that's just how it is because that was their budget.
Yeah, so you want to find a builder that's going to take your budget into consideration and then be able to hit it, right?
Right.
And when you talk to references, ask them that question. Hey, did they give you a budget up front? How close did they stick to it? Okay, did you go over? Was that because you decided something you wanted, or was it something that they missed on their cost estimate, right? Mm-hmm. The final thing, you've chosen your builder, or you're in the process of choosing a builder. The last thing you want to find out is what kind of warranty does this builder offer, right? Mm-hmm. Because most builders are going to offer some kind of warranty on the final construction of the house, because there's going to be little things as you move in that are going to come up, right? So what we do, we offer a 1-year warranty. All of our subcontractors know, hey, we offer this 1-year warranty. So if something goes wrong within the first year, we're going to require you to come back and take care of it, right? So let's say a light fixture quits working, right? It just completely quits working. We're going to take that back to the vendor. We're going to have our electrician come put that in. Let's say the water heater, just for whatever reason in the first year, has a problem. Our plumber's going to come back out and take care of it.
And again, all of our subcontractors know. That's funny. I just talked to one of our the guys that we built a custom house for, and he was walking his dog because they live in our neighborhood, and he had to run back to his house because he had to meet the vinyl guy because a piece of vinyl had blown off.
But that was in a storm, though.
That was in a storm.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that was. Yeah,
but he came back because it's under a year,
less than a year, and not a problem for him to come do that. But we're going to guarantee the things that we do, and we're going to guarantee that for up to a year, right? And typically within a year, because when you move into a house, hey, this sink has never been used before. Water's never been run through it. Oh, it's got a drip underneath it. Okay, well, we're testing it. That's the test. We're going to go in there and tighten up the things that need to be tightened up or change it or fix it. You're going to have little issues that come up when you move into a house. A door may not latch good. This, that, or the other. Whatever it is, 1 year warranty is what we do. Now, some builders may offer 6 months. Some builders may offer longer than that. You just have to talk to whoever it is you're interviewing and make sure you find out what it is that they offer.
And real quick, so I have two things to say before we end. Real quick, I don't know if a lot of people do know this, but can you talk real quick about the 80-20? Like you've got to have 20% to close a loan.
Oh, it depends on, I mean, when you're talking about the financing side of it, right? Like when you're financing the house, you're going to have to find a product that works for you, right? And some
product
banks,
being a loan.
A loan, right? Yeah. Some banks are going to say, we'll give you, if you have your land already.
Which is a plus.
And you own it outright.
If you have any inkling about you want to build a house, start looking for land. Call us and we can help you look for land. But having the land and already, paying for it or having it paid off, that puts you heads and tails ahead a lot of people that build. So
so they're going to want you to have some kind of investment so that when you start building the house, if it goes south, right? Let's say your builder skips town, or you made some choices and now you can't afford to finish. What can the bank do to foreclose on you? Because you have an unfinished product there. So a lot of times they're only going to allow you 80% to build that house with, right? You're going to have the other 20% in your account some way to be able to pay that other 20%. Other programs, they may offer you to pay your 20% every time you take a draw. Other programs may say, okay, you have to have 12 months of payments in reserves.
Yeah, just so whatever you choose.
You just need to know, as you're
around.
Evaluating builders, you also need to be evaluating loan products that help you to build your construction loan for your house.
Right. Okay, and here's my final say on home building. A lot of people want to eventually build, and they, want to plunge and take that dive into building, and then they never do. You gotta have faith, and you gotta walk it, and you gotta see it before you see it, because it is. I'm telling y'all, it is a beautiful process. We have a really sweet family with multiple children, and they looked and looked and looked for a home, and they had never had any building experience, but every home that they looked at didn't fit their needs, and so they took the plunge, walked out on faith, found a little area in a subdivision that met their needs, and started building, and they built their sweet little dream home, and they are so happy because it fits their family's needs. But they took the dive, they took the plunge. It is realistic. It's something tangibly that you can touch. Like it's not a dream. Like it can be something real, but you have to do the hard work. You have to do your research. You have to meet with a lender. You have to talk to your spouse or your significant other about, how much you can afford. You have to stay within your budget. And at the end of the process, I guarantee you will be way more happier. Oh my gosh, edit that.
It's definitely more difficult.
Way more happy.
Way more happier if you build.
No, edit that too.
If you
way happier if you build.
Okay.
No, you don't. Don't you dare. And we're both educators. Hello.
Former educators. If you look at it though, if you're talking about building, it's definitely more difficult to build than it is to buy somebody else's house.
It is.
And that's one of the unique things about working with us is we're real estate agents. We can go out and show you a bunch of houses, and if we can't find your dream house, we can make it. We can build it for you, right? So we can take that process and go forward. So all that being said, that's a good checklist of how to kind of go through the process of finding your custom home builder, whether that's us or somebody else. We hope you have a great process and great experience with that.
Because it is wonderful.
It is a fun thing to do, but it's also nerve-wracking to a certain degree.
Right.
It takes a lot of stress to do it. And they say if you can build a house with your significant other and make it through it and not get divorced, then your marriage is bulletproof, right? And then so we decided to do this together for a living, right? So we've built several, and
we get to many fights daily.
Right, yeah. So
anyways, but yeah, it is a great experience. But just, go back through and listen to these, bullet points and topics. And, if you stay within these parameters and you follow this, I think you're, on your way to building what you want, and you haven't broke the bank.
Hopefully you can be more happier for years to come. Thanks so much for watching the show, guys. Have a great week. See ya.
Shame on you. He's taking that out.
It's done. The show is over.
Thanks for listening to the House Guy and Home Girl podcast, your #1 source for all things home. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out our YouTube page for video content from the show.